Hello, dear viewers. Welcome to the talk show of Housing Market Update today. My name is Deloar Khan. I'm a realtor with Exit Family Realty, Lindenhurst, New York, USA. You are watching this program live broadcast streaming from our West Babylon, New York studio. Today's topic is COVID-19 and its impact on housing market. We are getting a lot of questions about the current COVID-19 housing market, and people are having concern about what's going to happen in the housing market after COVID. People are questioning about mortgage, its rate, and how it's affecting, etc. We will try to reveal all the answers to our discussion today. Dear viewers, we have questions. Please feel free to ask in the chat box. If you have enough time, we'll try to answer in our discussion today. And we have two guest panelists today. Marty Kelly, and he's the mortgage loan originator from UNMB, and we have Joane Mills also. So first of all, I'm gonna go to Marty Kelly. Marty Kelly, please just introduce yourself a little bit for shortly, and then I have a question for you. Okay, please go ahead.
Thank you, Deloar. Yes, my name is Marty Kelly. I work with United Northern Mortgage Bankers. We're a bank located in Levittown, New York. Just a brief background about myself. I've been in the mortgage industry for over 30 years. I've been a mortgage loan originator in the 5 boroughs, as well as Long Island and covering New Jersey. And I'm very thankful to be here and part of your show.
Yeah, excellent. Thank you so much, Marty. So I have first question for you. And with this COVID situation, we all are concerned about the current scenario. And how do you practicing, are you practicing the situation like mortgage rate and these practices, everything, how are you doing it?
Well, obviously, with the effects of the COVID-19 virus and the lockdown in the economy, it's changed a lot of things that we do, the new normal, where we used to have a great deal of interaction personally with people. Most of our systems have changed to secure emailing using the phone or mortgage app, where the people download the documentation directly to us. So we're surviving by changing what's normal, and we're getting paperwork and protecting people's privacy by sending it directly to us rather than meeting at an office or meeting at their house. So things have changed in the way that we're processing mortgages and approving people. We'll speak more in a little bit with Joane about what's happening, but that's one of the major changes that's happened in the last 2 months. And very happy that United Northern's been able to adapt to that quickly without having any problems with our processing, our underwriting, or our closing, as we have everyone working from home. With our main goal is to keep our employees safe and allow our applicants to be safe, and also to get loans approved and people into houses.
Okay, great. So now I have another guest, Joane Mills. Joane Mills, hello. Joane Mills is the broker owner from Exit Family Realty, Lindenhurst, New York, USA. Joane Mills, please welcome to our show, and please just introduce yourself a little bit and a little brief about yourself.
Well, thank you for having me, Deloar, and good to see you, Marty. My name is Joane Mills, the broker owner of Exit Family Realty. Been in real estate for 20 years, so I've been through quite a few different markets, and this is a different market than we've ever had before, but applying what we've learned by other hard times quickly into this market to be able to do business. So we're excited to be able to service people, help them, and focus on giving them information to make good decisions.
Excellent. So I have a first question for you. How is the real estate market you are having right now in this scenario? That how the COVID-19 and the lockdown situation, how is affecting, and how are you practicing the business right now?
Great questions. So let's go back up a little bit. I'm going to tell you, in January, February, we were seeing expecting the best year we've seen in years, which of the market. It was a very, very, we had low inventory, we had a lot of buyers, and things were just rocking and rolling. And of course, in mid-March, everything came to a crashing halt, pandemic. So it did take a little bit of adjustment.
Dear audience, we're having a technical problem. I'm going to go back to Marty Kelly again. Marty, welcome again. So
Yeah,
I have a question.
yeah, to build on what Joanne was saying, because I know
Mhm.
with the marketplace that we're in, that was so strong when the COVID virus lockdown or the pandemic started. Um, we were in a very solid marketplace whereby there were very few homes and so many people out there trying to purchase them, kept it in a very strong marketplace, increasing values. That has changed in the sense that there's less homes, but there's also less buyers. So there's still a tremendous demand in the marketplace for housing. So one answer that we kind of touched on earlier was, where do you think prices are going? And based on what I've spoken to Joanne in the past, as well as different agents, the housing market still remains strong because there's still a lot of people looking at a few houses. I'm sorry, Joanne, I jumped in there for you while you
I
were.
appreciate it. Technology is wonderful as long as it works. So I just got bumped off the internet there for a second. So yeah, what I was saying was we were looking at a really strong market. We had like a big boom, like shut down for a second, but then we found really quickly ways of being able to still do our business, even though we had to change some of that ways. You spoke about it when it comes to mortgages, of how we had to protect ourselves, our clients, our customers, and the public. So what we've done was we were already very high in technology. We just took it to that next level, and we're seeing right now in this moment actually quite a few buyers. I'm sure you mentioned it too, Marty. Buyers are still out there. They're qualified buyers that are still out there, are very, very, very hungry. The other thing we saw was a dip further down in inventory. We went from an average a little over three months of inventory to a little over 2. So those buyers that are out there and the amount of inventory, we're seeing homes being sold. We're week 9 into COVID-19, and we're starting to see where we're starting to sit that turn where now inventory is starting to come out. We're actually bringing about 5 or 6 listings in our area this week coming in. So sellers are really starting to want to sell. So what we really expect to see a very, very strong July and August. The mid-July to June, July, August, whereas usually that's the slowest months of the year when it comes to sales in real estate. It's very quiet in July and August. I think we're going to see more of the numbers of, April, May numbers, because more sellers are going to be ready to put on the market. We're getting phone calls every day. And buyers are aggressive, and Marty, we're putting buyers in front of you all the time. They are very aggressive. Anything comes up, a sign comes up, phone calls are just happening. So as you know, we are doing business a new way, but it's being done, and that's what's important. We lost Deloar, so we keep talking, Marty. So
Okay. Yes. So we have a question from an audience, from a viewer. The question is for Marty. Marty, the question is, what would affect that COVID-19? Like, how's the effect of the COVID-19, and how is gonna be after post-COVID in the mortgage industry or interest rate? What do you think?
Well, a couple of things that the COVID has, the pandemic, or more specifically, the lockdown has changed, is obviously safety. So it's looking at the appraisals, it's looking at the values. And again, because there's such buyer demand, prices have remained stable, if not increased in a number of areas. So in that regard, that people are expecting this big collapse that's going to happen with home values, that has not happened. If anything that's changed is that buyers, especially essential workers, are some of the most powerful buyers we've seen in the history of lending. You have prices stabilized, and you also have interest rates that have dropped. The government has done everything they can to, in a sense, stabilize the economy, and interest rates have dropped down to near 3%. So in that regard, the market is very strong, pricing is very strong, interest rates are very low, essential workers are very powerful because they can buy right away. So you're seeing a very strong market. And much like Joanne said, we may have missed the last 9 weeks. I think the market's going to make up for it during July and August. It's going to be a very busy summer.
And the benefits to the buyers, there'll be more inventory out. And sellers are still, we're not going to see a devaluation of home prices. They might soften a little bit if we get a lot more inventory, meaning that they will just, instead of such an increase every month, they're going to be, leveling a little bit. But as for sellers, right now, this is the perfect time for sellers to go on the market if they can. This second, today. Because again, there's no inventory. Buyers are out there before other, you want to be out there before everybody else. So, but it's still a very strong market for sellers. It's a great market for buyers because of interest rates. I mean, Marty will tell you what the interest rates today was $45 on every $10,000 you borrow. So a very strong buying power.
Yeah, you're seeing that lower interest rates. The buyers are out there looking for houses, and you're not seeing desperate sellers because there's so many people competing over the same properties. It's causing, it's in a sense, a price war on the house, and you're seeing at times house prices going up. So it's, again, this is a virus. This is not an economic disaster. If you want to compare things to 2008, where credit was an issue, we were in very strong economy when this happened. The banks are very healthy. The banks want to lend money. People want to borrow money. So it's a very strong market especially for the essential workers. Yeah.
So say this is a health crisis right now, not a housing crisis. The housing market is actually very, very healthy. And this is the time for, buyers to make that move, to get into those homes, get into the game, and sellers to make a move on. The one thing we're missing right now in the market is we need people to be moving up. We need those first-time buyer houses. So there's a lot of people sitting on a home that have equity. There's what they say, 47% of all homes, 41% of homes throughout the country are completely paid off. Another 30-something% of the homes have $175,000 worth of equity or more. So those homes are the ones that we need to, those sellers to make that move right now and move up to their dream home or move out to retirement or second homes. So the only thing that's slowing our market down at all is the amount of inventory. If you're looking at headlines out there and they're saying that the housing market is slowing down, they're talking about actual sales month over month. And the only reason that we don't have more sales is we don't have more inventory.
Yes, Joanne, I have another question from one of the viewers, Kelly. She's asking how you are practicing. I think you answered that question. How you are practicing the real estate right now in the current scenario, she's asking.
Great. Thank you, Kelly. Thanks for the question. It's a really good question. For right now, we actually, we're doing a lot more virtual showings. For clients, we're meeting with clients this way. We're doing online meetings and doing consultations, free consultations with clients, buyers, and sellers online. We're doing walkthroughs through the homes that way to get to know the sellers and buyers. But then when you have buyers looking at homes, we're doing virtual open houses, virtual tours. People are putting offers in contingent on, even with just seeing virtual homes, and then contingent on getting into that house before contract. So we're doing things a little bit differently today, but we're just taking it to that next level. So professional photography, professional tours are helping us, give the buyer population what they need to be able to feel comfortable that they're seeing a home. Then when an offer is accepted, we are having home inspections are being done. The home inspectors are essential. They're allowed to go in when a house goes into contract and the mortgage is done. Appraisals are getting done. They're also allowed to get in. So there's really nothing in the process that's slowing us down right here in New York, other than the fact that we just have to make sure that we stay socially distanced. When buyers do end up going into homes, they have gloves and masks. They're going to be walking through homes that are, without anyone with them. So doors are going to be open for them, and then they're going to be walking through homes on their own, kind of like on the TV show when the agent says, "Go ahead, go walk around," which we always laughed at before, but now that's what we're doing. So whatever it is to make buyers feel comfortable and sellers be comfortable. We're just working whatever we can to help facilitate that.
Joanne, I have another follow-up question from another viewer, and her name is Jennifer. She's asking, do you think the real estate market will change eventually after COVID? All is going to be digital? She's asking the question, I don't know.
Yeah, that's a great question. We were talking about it today with our group and our team. The fact is, I think that we're going to see a lot more consultations and maybe even virtual open houses, because people can see these open houses all over the country. But the one thing about real estate is what I love about real estate is when people buy a home, they're not buying a house, they're buying a home. And it has to do with their heart, right? You people fall in love. So it's always going to have to be connected. They have to go touch and feel and see at one point or another. So we're going to be enhancing the way we do business using more technology. That means we'll be able to expose more people to properties and be able to service them wherever they're at. But there's always going to be that time when they need to get into those doors, and we're going to be there to help guide them through that. And we become a resource. That's what we are. We're not salespeople. We're resources to be able to be everything from their counselor to their negotiator to their marketer to their advisor through the whole process.
Excellent. So now I'm going to come back to Marty Kelly. Marty, one of the customer is Steve, is asking the question. He's the buyer, so he's asking the question. What will happen in the mortgage rate? Is going to be low? Is going to go to 0%? He's asking. I don't know. A lot of people ask this question actually.
That'd be great.
We at zero. We don't see it.
Give the money away.
One thing that's happened with the pandemic and what the government has done, they've stepped in. They've done everything in their power between the Federal Reserve and the government to try and help stabilize the marketplace, to stabilize not only the mortgage industry, but the stock market. And they've been able to accomplish that over the last month, where there has not been tremendous swings in pricing. You don't see the stock market collapsing. Every marketplace is looking for stability. They're looking for, when will this pandemic be over? One of the things we talked about with Joanne even yesterday was talking about the new numbers with unemployment. Although the unemployment is sky high and it's the worst it's been since the Great Depression, there is hope that when this passes, people go back to work. That's different than no one ever getting a job again. So, excuse me, but that is one of the main differences with this pandemic, is that, God willing, it will be over soon and we'll be able to recover faster.
Yeah, those unemployment numbers are inflated with the fact of people who, especially in the service industry, restaurants, hotels, all those people who had to be laid off because all those things had to close. They couldn't open. They couldn't service people. So those numbers are really inflated with that. And once we know that we're past this and the doors open, those jobs will come back. We know they will. So that's why those numbers don't scare us as much. And we're expected to see higher numbers coming in even next month in the April report. But don't let people get all crazy about those numbers, because again, you got to remember that the people that have been laid off are people that are going to go back to work. Large majority of them, and even teachers.
Yeah, my point about essential workers and how powerful or strong an essential worker is right now. If you're working, getting your money like a policeman, anybody on the front line with the money that they're making, if they have a good credit score, a solid job, rates around 3%, if not lower in some cases, they are very powerful buyers. And sellers are going to realize this, that when people do come to their door, they do come for a virtual tour. They are powerful and serious buyers. Those are the houses that are going to sell right away. So again, what Joanne said earlier, we know what's happening right now. There are strong buyers out there and there are good houses. The only biggest issue is there's not enough houses.
Yeah, it's the only thing that's slowing the market down. It really is. Yeah. But we already started to feel that turn. As I said, we're getting phone calls every day from sellers. There's been a pent-up seller demand, honestly, for the last few years. There was a lot of homes that were upside down for a long time, and then there was a lot of homes that were affected by Sandy for a long time. And now all of those homes have been, has changed. There's more equity in the homes. The homes are renovated. So we started to really know that there was going to be this turn of homeowners wanting to get on the market, and Sandy hit. So Sandy, COVID hit, and it kind of like stopped everything for a moment. It was a pause. It was a pause, and we've been through this pause now for quite a few weeks. But I'm really feeling the frustration of people really wanting to move on with their lives, and as long as it's done safely and smartly, and with guidance and with professionals who know what they're doing and how to position and protect the clients, we are being able to help service people like that and help them move on with their lives and not just get stuck.
I'm going to go back to another questions from a viewer. He's an investor, and he's asking the question, the house market will be down, so he can wait. So he's asking the house market is going down, so that this way he can buy more.
Yeah, a lot of people really thought that this would be the time to pick up steals and deals. Because of the situation. And even like Marty said, because there's less buyers on the market and those buyers are qualified that they could come in real low. And we've seen buyers try to do it, and honestly, it's really not working. Homes that have been on overpriced homes that are on the market, that have been on the market, are still on the market, we'll be able to negotiate for those homes at a better price because they were started off wrong to begin with. But homes that come out marketed, marketed correctly, we are seeing those homes go for full price or better. So for an investor right now, there's always going to be those ones on there that we can help you find, but we're not going to see, in what we're studying the market indicators, we're not going to see a downturn in our real estate market. Again, it's not a real estate crisis, it's a health crisis. So we feel that if anything, we might get to a little softer market, where it's more of an even market, where the appreciation is more normal, which is around 3.6% a year, as opposed to what we've been seeing above like 5, 6, 7% a year. So we're going to start seeing a little softening, but definitely not a downturn. So when a buyer's buying today, they don't have to worry about tomorrow the house being worth less. That's for sure.
And again, that goes back to what you said earlier. This is a health crisis, not a financial crisis. Right now, sellers still have equity. Sellers can still sell. Much different than the past of 2008, where most houses were underwater and most sellers wanted to leave but couldn't. That's a much different marketplace, again, because hopefully this is a pause. This virus is going to come through. We're going to
handle on
it, and then things will go back to a new normal. Probably a more efficient, showing houses virtually, applying virtually, closing virtually. Everything's going to be a new normal in terms of how we do things safer and more efficiently.
Yeah, that's right. Excellent. Yeah. I have another question from another viewer. He's asking the question about the mortgage. I think the question is for Marty. So that she's asking, is the mortgage is going to be difficult to get? Because a lot of people are going, in the difficult times. So what is the solution for that?
I don't think it's going to be more difficult. It's just going to be more that the bank is going to be looking for more certainty.
Bobby, I'm broadcasting. You're walking through.
Job going to be there? Is it a secure job? That's mainly what the banks are concentrating right now. Is this person's potential to continue to work going to be there? Again, it goes back to the essential workers, with the policemen, with the firemen, with the nurses. I think it'll be more difficult for someone who's in the service industry if the pandemic doesn't lighten up. Will that person be continuing to work in a restaurant? Yes, it's probably going to be more difficult for someone in the service industry, someone who's a bus driver, or in the hotel industry. Those industries will be scrutinized more because they want to see your potential or probability for continued employment. At the same time, it won't be easier for a fireman to get his job, but it's going to be easier in the sense that the bank's going to see the reduced risk because there is the probability of continued employment. So in a sense, it's going to become easier to obtain financing, and in a sense, it's going to be tougher to obtain financing. It depends upon your personal situation.
Okay, excellent. And
Which is really
Joanne,
no different than it was before. Really, Marty, right? It really was no different than before because it was after the crash of 2008, things got a little bit tougher. And since then, people have to have jobs and they have to prove that they have jobs and they have to have decent credit. But we help people with that too. Marty is great at sitting with a client and they're not ready today. And Marty helps them with a plan to get ready the next 6 months, a year, and works them through that, getting their credit better, getting their job stable. So we work with people wherever they're at right now and help them get to when they can. Because everybody needs what we have. They need to have a place to put their head down at night. And and we always feel that their home ownership is the smartest move long term. It's the best investment out there.
yes, we're running out almost the time. So I have two last questions one question for Joanne, one question for Marty. So the first question is for Joanne. Joanne, what do you think as a realtor, as a broker owner, long-time experience, what do you think the market will be, behaving in the next few months or next year?
Great question.
There's a question, a lot of people asking that question. So what do you think?
Well, I'm going to tell you, the market is a little different than normal. There's usually a 7 to 10 year curve where we see, there's always this up and down with the real estate market. If we took out that big curve in 2008, because that was an anomaly, there's always this high and low. And we were really, the market really started to turn around 2011, 2012. And so that we're really like at that end of that 7 to 10 year, right? We're getting closer to that. But because of the inventory, this is an unusual. We haven't seen these numbers of inventory in I don't know, decades. I don't remember ever seeing it before. So it's keeping the market going very strong as a seller's market, and I think it's going to continue as a seller's market. When I say that, though, it doesn't mean that buyers are not getting a good deal. Buyers are buying in a market that homes are appreciating every day. So when they're buying a home, they know that home is going to be, it's still moving forward. So it's just a strong market. And I really feel, as I said before, normally, the end of the summer is the quietest time in real estate. Just like the end of December to early January is a quiet winter. August is usually the quiet part of the summer. Everybody's out doing their thing and before they go back to school and they take a vacation and real estate gets real quiet. This August and this July, I think is going to be just hopping. It's going to be outrageous because we're going to see that inventory flux come in and more buyers start going back to work and starting to feed the need. So I really expect my team is all prepared for it. And not everybody's going to be. Not all realtors are still in the game. I know they've been sitting on the sidelines for the last, quite a few weeks, whereas we never stopped. We figured out how we can help. How can we serve people? We just stayed in there. We learned more. We got more educated and became better at what we do. So we're here waiting for, we're here to help and serve. And I'm, so proud to have you part of that team, Deloar. And our team is just, can't wait to just, give us a call. We're here to help. And our focus and our goal, and just like Marty, is we're not here to sell you. We're here to help educate you. Whatever it is that your goal is, we'll sit down and give you all your options, and help you get prepared for those options. And then once you make your choice, because you know which way you can go, we'll help facilitate that. And that's our goal. Let's help you be successful. And then, that's how we are successful.
Yes, the last question for Marty. Thank you, Joanne. Last question for Marty. What do you think as a long time, the loan mortgage originator, long time you have experience, what do you predict the market in the future, in the next few months or in the year?
I feel, again, with my experience over 30 years, I've seen a lot of different things. Just like Joanne said, the world has never seen what we're going through right now. I do see that buyers are getting some of the greatest purchasing opportunities in the history of lending. We talk about interest rates back in the 70s at 17%. I started in 1990, we were in 11 and 12%. To talk to someone about 3% interest rates, these are something we're going to talk to our grandchildren about. This is a fabulous time to purchase a house. I think that, the economy is strong enough to withstand this pandemic. I think the financial institutions learned a great deal from 2008, that we've been more prudent in lending. I think people have learned a lot since 2008. They weren't buying more or biting off more than they could chew and financing a bigger payment than they could afford. So I believe we're in a much better place economically, and especially in our marketplace in Long Island and New York City. We have the job, we have the income, we have the equity. People can sell, people can buy. All those things add up together. I think we're going to be able to recover very quickly. As long as this virus is gone, we're going to be out there. We're going to be able to lend. You guys are going to be able to sell houses. It's going to be a strong market once we get through this.
The one thing I do want to mention is, if you're out there, guys who are out there and you're watching the news every day, just be careful, because you're getting inundated with all this bad news about, worried about the economy, worried about this, worried about that. And a lot of that news is news. That's they're just trying to grab your attention. You got to pay attention to what's underneath that. And the fact is, there's this very strong, we're strong Long Island strong. We do have great, job market. We do have a great housing market. We have people, we've gone through some tragedy here, and I'm so sad for anyone who's lost anyone. And we still have to be very careful moving forward. We're not through it. We're not done yet, but understand that we're going to get through this. And that,
definitely,
home and being a homeowner or moving on with your life, those things need to be done. And we're here to serve you if you need to be served. We're going to be here whenever you're ready. And if you have any more questions, feel free to reach out to us, because we're here just to answer those.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Joanne and Marty, for with us. And really, it was very helpful, and really appreciate your time here. And
thank you.
Thank you.
No problem. And we'll see you again.
All right. See you soon.
Stay safe.
Okay, dear audience. So after today's discussion, we can see that all the question is answered. Most of the question, like we had, like what is the problem of the COVID-19 and its effect on the market, and we see how the housing market and how's the mortgage rate and everything is affecting. So if you have any more questions, probably you have more questions, dear viewers. If you have more questions, then you can put in the chat box, and we'll try to answer the question, and probably will come in the next time, and we will try to answer all those questions. Thank you so much for viewing, and have a good day.